You know, unfortunately I don't actually have my IRC bot working right now, so you cannot add any commands because no one is listening to anything. It has been literally 3 years since I last streamed. I've been all over the place, I guess, to answer the where parts. And they're just stealing these valuable possessions of Shinra. Would truly, I mean, this is probably the worst thing Avalanche has ever done. How could they dare to steal this fancy truck and this probably somewhat well-functioning motorbike? What devilish people they are. Hey Frosty, thank you very much. Wow, somebody earlier had like a 36-month streak, but this is even more than that. I can't... I have a hard time believing I even have had subscriptions for that long. That's more than 4 years, wow. Oh, you started doing F7 and 9 speedruns? That's interesting. How do you like them? What kind of runs do you do? Well, the monomod sets all your stats to 1. You can level up, but it doesn't affect your stats, they will stay at 1. Your HP is capped at 270 and your MP at 90. So your stats are pathetically low. At the same time, you start the game with a lot of late game equipment and material to allow you to survive things. So you basically have glass cannons as your party members. You deal a lot of damage, but you're also extremely fragile, which forces you to do more strategic stuff. Oh yes, it actually is quite fun, I would say. Interesting. No, Regen actually doesn't do much, because Regen heals as a fraction of your HP. Like, Regen actually is percentage-based healing, so if you have very little HP, it also only heals very little. I mean, Regen doesn't heal in absolute terms, Regen heals in relative terms. Like, Regen actually heals half your entire HP from the time it's cast to the time it wears off, so it doesn't really help you that much. And looks like someone died. Oh no, never mind. Not yet. That was an interesting one-hit KO. Thanks to the power of Cloud's equipment. I mean, Cloud is equipped with the 4th bracelet, which increases his magic by +20. The wizard bracelet is the same. The wizard bracelet has more slots. Wait, actually I think I gave him the wizard bracelet, not the fort bracelet. And then he has the cursor ring, which increases his magic by 35. And then I gave him a couple of materia that he cannot cast because he doesn't have enough MP. But that materia at the same time also increases his magic by quite a bit, so that adds up. I mean, Cloud's magic was actually 107, so that's actually quite a lot. What do you mean by can I live off 200 views? Like, can I eat them and consume their bodies? Or do you mean like eat, can I like live off them in a more metaphorical sense, not a literal sense? I wonder what you mean. Hey Puddle. Well, I'm sure theoretically you can, if you have like 200 very dedicated viewers, I suppose. Is that even a female attribute? I mean, what even is a female attribute anyway? Do you mean like physically? Well, I mean, technically just about anybody who hasn't had a mastectomy has tits. I mean, people assume that only women have tits, but men do too. They're usually just smaller, but not necessarily. Also, the damage that Sephiroth deals he has changed because of how his stats are different. I think they actually increased his level to 90 or something, because otherwise he would not be able to kill his dragon. There was a when and revive. Yeah, normally his level is 50. And normally he deals like 3200 HP of damage, I think. Let's play some piano, because life is all about playing piano. And let's also steal some underwear, because life is all about that as well. If you do this when you control Tifa, when Cloud is in Mideel later on disc 2, you can get an elemental materia out of this. Which isn't really that useful, but it doesn't hurt either. But in order to get that elemental materia, you have to have played this melody as Cloud in this flashback. And you have to pick it up with Tifa when she's the party leader temporarily. Is the PS4 already at the end of its life cycle? Interesting. Middle-aged. How exactly does a console become middle-aged? How many years does it take for a console to become middle-aged? How many does it take for a human, by the way, I wonder? Is a beer belly a sign of middle-agedness? Hey, thank you very much, Frosty. Oh, strange, he's on level 50. But somehow they still changed his attack. Oh, they actually changed the variables of the Master Moon. They gave it 250 attack power. And his stats are not affected by this mod, which is really... that's just cheating. I mean, they could have just kept his stats low as well, but no. Seriously, that's ridiculous. I mean, you can actually see how Tifa in the FMVs of this game and like the movie cutscenes, if you look at her model, she has some unrealistic body portions that I suppose would be rendered more average in the remake. And I'm not talking about her unnaturally large ears. Why not just turn her into a cyborg and remove her hair entirely? Just put some kind of growing moss on her hair that you can probably smoke or something. Why don't you just make it so that sunflowers grow in her hair? Or where her hair normally would be? Like turn her into some kind of flower cyborg hybrids. Like some kind of farming hoe. Or maybe just have Tifa look like this guy, with a fancy haircut. Well, what should you have done to the Maconoids? Like, set them free or fight them? Well, have some fun grocery shopping. Don't get lost among the many aisles. I mean, what else is Hojo supposed to be doing if not sunbathing? It seems like he has the need for that, and he doesn't really have anything else to do, does he? I mean, it's not like he's actually doing anything productive at Shinra Corp, is he? I mean, he might be the head scientist, but does he actually do anything useful there? I don't think so. I mean, he doesn't really develop stuff, he just talks about ancients and makes really silly experiments, like breeding a dog with a human, which of course will never work. I don't think you can call him a bioengineer. That's giving a very bad name to bioengineers. made the Nibelheim mention in Minecraft. That sounds interesting. Well, he must have equipped elemental and fire materia. That's probably how he does it. Maybe he's wearing a fire armlet at that point of the game. I mean, there's actually a lot of ways in FF7 to nullify absorb fire damage. I mean, you could have equipment like a fire armlet, a fire wing, tetra elemental. If he were a woman, he could also wear Minerva bands. What else is there? And then of course there's stuff like elemental materia linked to a fire materia. Or he could cast shield on himself. I think Sephiroth tore that thing down because otherwise he wouldn't be able to like actually get to Jenova. The thing he took off was probably just in the way. Genova is an alien, literally. So because I have Gil Plus materia, I was able to stockpile a little bit of Gil, which is kind of useful. Hey, the real Cthulhu, how are you? Hey, Cherry Quest, how are you? I'm good. Hey, Amethysto. Thank you. That was a lot of damage. Did I get one of those real life things that everyone is doing these days? Probably. That's probably a very close description, a very accurate one. And I might still not be finished with this real life stuff that everyone is so fond about these days, that they kind of do it a lot. You do a lot of life stuff. Are you a paramedic? You know what? I think I might actually be able to kill the Midgardsormr, but I'm not sure if I should try. I mean, maybe I should try, because for fun and stuff, I guess. Then again, I think on second thoughts, how am I even gonna survive any attack? Like, it might not be such a great idea anyway, but I mean, I can make a save file and just see how it goes, right? What's the worst that can happen? Well, of course it's going to be good. It's going to be fucking amazing. Do I even have any means of inflicting poison? I should probably have just bought more Phoenix Downs. Does the Midgazolm even have MP? I have no idea. And I have no more Phoenix Downs. So I suppose out of interest, I might want to try and see if I can't just beat this thing. I mean, there's really no reason why I want to do this, because I don't even need to learn Beta because I already have it. But, I mean, this does sound like an interesting challenge. So why not try that? Oh, hey, Sega Chief. Indeed. I suppose. How are you doing? So I'm currently trying out the Monomods. You've probably heard of that. And there's really no reason why I want to kill the Zolom other than to see if I can. Oh look, Barret can actually survive an attack. That's fascinating. Yeah, you can kill Emerald Weapon. You can actually kill all the weapons. This mod is not as restrictive as some other mods. I don't like that. I mean, since I have W item materia, I can just double everything I have and... I kind of thought that would deal more damage. Ah, never mind. Yeah, sources are not usable in this mod anymore. Dude, I don't want to do this a second time. It seems like the Zolom actually spawned on a position that is not very fortunate for myself. No thanks. One time is enough. Can you actually still sell them? That's something I could do. But then again, since I already duplicated some ethers, why not just stick with that? You know what I should really duplicate, even though you can't? Tens. Or maybe I should just buy more tens. By the way, earlier I streamed some unused content in FF7 that I had discovered. Did you know that in the Northern Cave, on the two screens on which you can pick a route, like left, right, and then up and down, there's background animations or like background visual files that are unused. Like there's an actual background palette that is unused, that seems to indicate that the right path and the left up path could have been blocked off permanently. Oh, you already knew that? I never knew of anyone mention that, which is why I thought that no one ever knew of it, because I never actually heard anyone talk about it. I mean, it's definitely nothing major, but I had never seen or heard of it, which is why I found it quite fascinating. Also, why should I go to Fort Condor? Yeah, but I mean, these line triggers that you talk of, that you speak of, they're actually used in a normal game. It's just that they are used if you send all of your party in the other way, and like if like no one goes in that way in which your party is, in which Cloud doesn't go either. Like if you send any party member to the to one of those paths where Cloud doesn't go, then he will have a line that says, let's do Barret do this, and if Barret is not taking that path, then he will switch to Tifa and so on. And if no one goes there, but if you don't go there either, then it's just that let's just not go there. That's what Cloud will say. So these lines are actually used in the normal game, but the animations of those rock slides are not. I mean, and it's not really, I mean, one of these animations is a rock slide for like the green room, the up and down path, but the one before that, where you can choose between left and right, that actually has like a stalactite breaking off, which is even more impressive. Like, it looks kind of spooky. Someone could have been killed by that. Like, imagine Arrow standing below that. Maybe that's how she was originally intended to be killed off. And also, which I thought isn't really that impressive, or isn't really that new, but did you also know that in the Icicle and Weapons store, there's a model of the Black Materia just sitting at the top of the staircase for whatever strange reason? Like, that is also kind of creepy. Like, why would they even have that there? Did they intend to, like, just sell it? Also, why should I go to Fort Condor now? I don't see a reason to do so. So let's just skip that and move right ahead to the amazing shithole that is Junon. Yeah, and also it's part of the screen where you can't even normally go to. Like, the entire second part of the screen with the staircase is inaccessible. Do you know of any other of those things, like unused content, like the rock slide in Northern Cave and the Black Materia and the Icicle and Weapons store? Because I would be really interested to learn about more of those, or to just know about more of those. Yeah, I thought so too. So since Red 13 has a higher magic stat than Cloud, I think he will become, for now, my designated magic caster. But then again, it's probably just because he has a weapon that gives him a higher magic. But whatever. Now the question is, what magic should he even cast? Do we have any useful enemy skill materia magic? That's interesting. Also, I always seem like I'm spending way too much time doing menuing stuff. That probably isn't even necessary. I'm probably gonna like 1, 2, or 3 shot bottoms well anyway, so all of this menuing really in vain, because the battle is gonna last not as long as my menuing took, which is kind of silly, I suppose. Well, hello my boy, how are you? What is this monomod thing? Well, this is a gameplay mod in which all your stats are fixed at 1, your HP cannot exceed 270 and your MP not 90, so all your stats are garbage. But at the same time you start out the game with some late game gear and materia. Basically you have glass cannons. And I should have removed this shitty limit break. I am good. Also, why is ATB inactive? That's not good. Just hurry up before Cloud dies. Yeah, I didn't like the fact that I did not have ATB on weight. I mean, I'm not sure if I would have lost this battle, but I didn't like the way it started. How much HP does Bottomswell have anyway? Like 2,600 or so? Is it the same as Motor Ball? You know, a single word misspelled in German. That's very impressive. Yeah, this is better damage. Oh look, someone actually survived this. Unfortunately it critted wet, so he died, but whatever, we don't need him. still have no commands. At least no bot commands. Can you believe that this is like almost a minigame in this game? This is like the most pointless minigame there could possibly be, I suppose. I mean, why do you even do this? I mean, this is not exactly a full-fledged minigame, but it's still perfectly useless. So it has that great minigame quality to it. I mean, even from like a plot perspective, who even is this Priscilla girl? It's like some kind of random slum drunk slash hooker who just happens to pass out, like... Why do you have to resuscitate her? Like, I don't understand any of this. You know, something I've always funny about FF7's world is that you get to see, you get to look into the houses, and like all of these houses are really, really small. Like most of them don't even have a bathroom. Like, how does that even work? How do these people even live? They have like macro energy, but they don't have bathrooms. Like, they don't have their priorities straight, do they? I mean, seriously, that's a serious question. Like, how do these people even function? Well, maybe their bathroom is hidden somewhere behind a stalactite, you're trying to say? I don't know. It doesn't seem like the house is big enough for that. It doesn't seem like there's enough room for a stalactite or rock slides to cover up the bathroom door. Well, speaking of modding things in, I spent like 12 minutes modding in this rock slide animation. And then I made like a jump animation for the Icicle weapon store, because you normally cannot go to the black materia. So I had to make like Cloud jump over the counter, which actually looks kind of funny. I didn't know it would be that interesting, but yes, I actually did that earlier on stream. I might put it up on YouTube, so in case you missed that. I mean, the issue is that the walk mesh is not like there's a couple of triangles missing for you to be able to access the stairs. So you actually have to either add them, which is really not fun, because it seems like there's nothing I mean, you can add, you can modify the walk mesh by yourself, but generally speaking that's a lot of annoying work. So I just made Cloud jump over the counter. And once you're at the other side, you can actually, the walk mesh is perfectly fine. Yes, I did, but then I realized, that's probably a lot of work. Why should I do that? I mean, I had a couple of interesting modding ideas, but, well, I mean, to be fair, I did, when I first started out, I don't even know what I started out as, but before I became whatever it is that I'm doing right now, I did make these, like, hardcore hack enemies, like, back in 2011 or something. So I have some experience with editing stuff, but that's on a very minor scale. Like, making entire mods is probably, like, work, probably even a lot of it, and I don't really know if I want to do that. So why should I do that? But I had a couple of interesting ideas. For example, one of the things I always dislike about FF7 is how a lot of areas become inaccessible at a certain point, or how a lot of areas are not even, like, used to the fullest. For example, something I really dislike is how in the world map forests around the northern crater there are no enemies. And I know why that is, like how the game handles enemies on the world map and stuff. So if you could change that, which I think no one really can do right now because the required editors and stuff are lacking. Like, you wouldn't even be able to do that anyway, but it would be really nice if you could do that. And also other areas that become inaccessible, like Gaia's Cliff. Maybe you could have it so that if you go there at a certain point, you can, like, encounter a special event or something. I mean, from what I understand, the Nightmare 7 mod, which is discontinued as far as I can tell, it had, like, a lot of special items you could collect. I would imagine if I were to make a mod, it would be something like that. Like, you would have to go through the world map and the field maps, and, like, if you go to a certain field at the right time, like at the right, I don't know, game moment value, you could, like, encounter a certain NPC and access a certain kind of special shop that is only available temporarily. Something like that. That might be fun. So, like, a lot of random hidden stuff. Yeah, I know you can very easily make those areas re-accessible, but if you want to make them, like, premium re-accessible and even, like, improve on them with new content, that's kind of a lot of work. I don't really like that, but then again I already duplicated some ethers, so I don't really care. I mean, to be fair, I have, like, probably 20 different FF7 modding tools installed on my PC right now. I downloaded White Chocobo, which is just for shops, which is one of the more esoteric tools. And then I also downloaded the mods, the tool you made, Materia Keeper, which is quite interesting. I mean, I had a couple of... I played around with a couple of things, which was kind of fun. And I learned quite a bit about how you would be able to modify FF7, or how you'd be able to make your own mods. It's just that I don't really feel like I want to put that into an entire game mod. I mean, if I were to make a mod, I would probably go like hardcore sadist and make it so that you have to backtrack all the time to go to like special events and special fields. Like, you could make it so... I mean, this is like a compilation of some ideas that I'm giving away right now. So if you want to make a mod, feel free and reuse those ideas. Like, you could make it so that, you know, you could go back to Gaia's Cliff, and let's say that during a time that Sid is party leader, which is a very short amount of time, during that time you can go like to the end of the world maze, where you normally, when you go there for the first time, you meet Hojo and Rufus, and you could make it so that at that point, when Sid is party leader, you can encounter like a certain NPC that has like a special shop or something, where you can buy some unique item or something. And you can use that theme and make it available in other places. Like if you go there at a certain time, something special happens. Isn't that just a great idea? And no one would ever know when that time is. You'd probably have to just... I don't know. I have no idea how you'd find out when to go where. Just a good case of guide dang it. Somebody would probably have to look into the actual game files to find out. But isn't that how fun is had? By just not knowing anything works? And just blindly guessing what works and what doesn't? Yeah, I mean, isn't FF7, the fun of it, just all about backtracking aimlessly anyway? Wasting your time spending, driving a buggy across the world map, that's basically the definition of fun. Do I actually need this? I don't really know. I mean, I suppose I can afford this, but... Well, see you later. By the way, the funny thing is you start your inventory actually with sources already. You just cannot use them anymore. I don't even know if you can still sell them. Maybe I should try that. I think you can't even sell them anymore, which makes them even more useless. Yeah, you can't even sell them. What's the point of those items anyway? Well, probably just to point out how useless they are. Also, in this minigame, I don't want to get the Force Stealer. I think the more useful item to get here is the HP plus Materia, so I want to get between 60 and 90 points. This is a fairly long list of commands. You know, the thing is that the length of commands you get here in this minigame is actually randomized. So the maximum score you can get is also randomized. I think it's always at least 100, but it can be a lot higher than that. Well, I suppose you're right, this is a rare occasion, if you mean that I'm streaming again, which hasn't happened that much lately. I guess we'll never find out where such a valve would be. Oh hey Pete McDonald's, how are you? So for Jenova Birth, I think it's safest to use characters who have the highest level, because from a higher level I get 6 more HP. I mean, if you look at my character's HP, you can see that at level 11 I have 70 HP and at level 10 it's only 64. And this doesn't seem like much, but it might actually make the difference. So I'm gonna go ahead and use these characters. Well, thank you for 93 bits, Pete. You tried pizza with lamb on it not too long ago? That was a mistake. Really? Was it that bad? So essentially, if I happen to get a first turn with clouds, I think I win the battle. It's just that that might take a while until that happens. Is there an FAQ? I mean, I'm playing through this mod called the Mono Mods. I mean, this is not a speedrun, it's just a playthrough of this mod. And this mod, what it does, it sets all your stats at 1. Your HP cannot exceed 270, and your MP not 90. at the same time you start off the game with a lot of late game gear and materia. Lamb tastes too much like lamb. That sounds like an awfully specific problem you have there. I'm not sure if I even ever had lamb. I mean, recently I was at a restaurant and they served pigeon, which is kind of overrated. Like, this wasn't even the first time I had pigeon. I think I've eaten pigeon like 3 times now, and I was never really fond of it. Like, pigeon doesn't even taste good. I don't really know why people think pigeon is... I don't know why so many restaurants even serve pigeon. Pigeon is like garbage. No offense. Yeah, I think this battle is over now. Yeah, I don't even think pigeon is cheap. I think pigeon is like pretentious, expensive foods that doesn't taste good though. I certainly would not recommend it, but a lot of people think it's good. Well, that's also what they are in Germany. You know, strangely enough, I never actually ate pigeon in Germany. I always only ate that abroad. I mean, I don't actually know where the pigeons that you have in restaurants as food, like, they probably come from some kind of pigeon farm, where they farm pigeons just for the sake of, you know, selling them to restaurants. I don't think you eat pigeons that you catch somewhere in a train station. Anyway, personally, I much prefer seafood. In particular, anything with tentacles. I'm very much into tentacle food porn. Well, I guess you can keep a pigeon as a pet. If you don't have any other pets. If you don't have any kind of good taste in pets. Then why not go with pigeons? I mean, because diseases? Well, to be honest, I think that if you think you might get a pigeon as a pet, you probably have bigger problems than diseases. Well, you're welcome. Well, I guess you could actually do that. I mean, I'm sure there's a place somewhere in the real world that looks kind of like Custard of the Soul. Final Fantasy VIII. Maybe at some point. Again. That's almost double my HP count. Maybe not the whole game, but for now I think it will. No, there isn't. To some extent that's because I don't even have Nightbot activated right now. I mean, I don't have any commands right now. Maybe I should kill these things. I have been good, how are you? To be honest, I don't even remember your most certainly most attentive and most affectionate DM. Does Twitch even still have DMs? Didn't they phase out that feature? do you mean like a whisper? Well, I guess it is these days, on Twitch at least. Well, see you. Good night. Well, you have to take a break from being sad sometimes in order to recharge your sadness batteries so you can be full-time sad again. That's what happened there. Well, I think I'm gonna stream at least this mod, but beyond that, I don't really know. You know, when you don't see someone in a long time, even though you might assume they had died, that actually is rarely what happens. Wait, this is the wrong tent. I need to go to the tent that has the ether in it, so I can steal that. I think I vaguely remember that I translated something for you, but I don't remember it very vividly, to be honest. I don't think you can be arrested for killing rabbits on bikes. I could be wrong though, it's not like I really know that. You haven't spoken to him in a few years? Well, a few years is a fairly long time, but also a bit vague, like, how many years are we talking about specifically? I need to duplicate more ethers, because I cannot afford stuff once more. That's terrible. Oh yeah, it probably also wouldn't help if I didn't die. How do I not die? Hey, Grey Fox. How can they even charge you for this room? You're not even sleeping in a bed, you're sleeping on some kind of metal slab. Yeah, I need to make a lot of safety saves. This game is very difficult and dangerous and spooky and stuff. So it's good to save. Anyway, I think I have to actually leave now. So, yeah, I'm gonna continue and eventually finish this. I think soon, like in a couple of days. Which means that I will stream again at that point. So, yeah. Try not to die. And similar things. Goodbye.